here's the fact. No one likes a hypocrite. No one likes hypocrites because they're fake. They're duplicitous. The Greek word that's translated as hypocrite, it literally means an actor. I found one of these online. These are like the old school like Greek play masks. Remember, they'd like come on and they give like the little silicone. And usually they'd actually change characters because the troupe was so small that one person would have a mask. They'd be a character. They'd take the mask off. They'd be another character. They could be multiple people because they had multiple masks. And some of us, that's the way we live. We're just multiple people to different people. We're one person at home. We're one person at church. We're one person at work. We're one person when we're in a social network. And nobody likes that person. Nobody likes somebody who's pretending to be someone they're not. Nobody likes the act. It's a mask. It's not who we really are, but this is who I'm pretending to be in this moment, which is so common in our world today. I'm going to represent one way here and one way there. We all have hypocrisy at different points in our lives. We all do it. I do it. You do it. None of us are Jesus. We all fall short. People tell me all the time, the church is full of hypocrites, and my response is always the same. It is not full. You can still come because we're all hypocrites. There are hypocrites in every part of life. There are hypocritical teachers, there are hypocritical doctors, there are hypocritical police, there are hypocritical Christians and Buddhists, there are hypocritical vegans. You may not believe this, but there are actually hypocritical politicians who say one thing and live the entire opposite way. It's unbelievable. There are hypocrites everywhere. So what do you do with hypocrisy? As Christians, what we do is we start with the hypocrite you can control. We need to start with the hypocrite we can control. All of us at some point or another, we do it. We lack integrity. We say one thing, we do another. It's often so hard to see in ourselves. We'll even justify it from time to time, right? If you understood what's going on, you knew what my bills were like, you knew my situation, you knew my backstory, you understood why I lied or why I stole or why I berated that person who was on my last nerve. I know that's not what Jesus would do, but understand my story, and we justify it. But God does not like hypocrites. God does not like hypocrisy. In fact, if you look at the life of Jesus, he was far harder on hypocrites than he was on prostitutes or adulterers or any of the people that you don't like because they don't sin like you. Jesus was so hard on the people who pretended because they should know better, right? You may say, listen, I may curse a little, but at least I don't sin like my neighbor. It's a hypocritical thought because God doesn't tell you to deal with your neighbor's hypocrisy. He tells you to love your neighbor and to deal with your own sin. We usually reverse that. We love ourselves, we excuse ourselves, we pardon ourselves, show ourselves grace, love, and mercy, and spend all of our free time judging, criticizing, tearing down others who don't sin like us. And this is what Jesus said to these hypocrites in Matthew 23:25. Woe to you, you teachers of the laws and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You clean the outside of the cup and dish, but the inside, they are full of greed and self-indulgence. Blind Pharisee, first clean the inside of the cup and dish, and then the outside also will be clean. You are play actors. You have no integrity, and I see right through you. Your mask may be awesome and may fool people sometimes, but not God. Jesus says, not me. You're putting on a game face. You look religious. You wear the right clothes. You say the right words. You have the right bumper sticker. You share that post on Facebook, right? The one that says, like if you love Jesus, ignore if you love Satan, which don't even get me started. But, right, you do the things that people associate with Christianity because it's important you maintain your reputation. And Jesus doesn't care about your reputation. He cares about your integrity. You can look righteous on the outside, but your heart is filled with evil. It doesn't matter what you do on the outside if you're faking all the time. I'm in a Facebook group of pastors, and someone told me that Christians shouldn't wear face masks, and I asked them, is that because our hypocrite masks actually stopped COVID? And I'm not in that group anymore for some reason. But Jesus calls hypocrites blind. He calls them short-sighted. In other words, you don't even see it. You are so blind to your own hypocrisy, you can't actually notice what's going on. He says, clean the inside of the cup first, and then the outside will also be clean. Because integrity doesn't start from the outside and come in. It starts from the inside out. Listen, I don't know what version of Christianity you've been taught or sold or you've watched from the outside, and you don't even believe in Jesus, because if you see how those people act, you don't want anything to do with Jesus. But Jesus is not after your behavior. He's not telling you stop that. He's not telling you quit it. He's not saying, if you love me, be like this. He's saying, give me your heart. Jesus is after the inside. He's after your heart. And when your heart is in love with Jesus, everything else will follow. It just starts to change, because when you love somebody, you start to pursue them more than anything else. And so he says, on the outside, you appear to be righteous, but you've got a mask on. On the inside, you're full of hypocrisy and wickedness. Woe to you. Woe to you is like a curse to these people. Woe to you who think you're smart and brilliant and righteous. You're dumb and dirty and sinful. You are full of hypocrisy. You're gross on the inside, and that's all that matters. Who cares what you look like on the outside? And it's so easy to do. It's easy to put on our little masks and play the game and look good on the outside, but what makes something actually desirable is if it's not disgusting on the inside. Because you may think something looks totally presentable, but inside it's full of death and sin and despair. It's gross. Nobody reaches for this cup and goes, give me some of that. This cup is no good to drink from, because it doesn't matter how clean it looks on the outside. On the inside, it is filthy and gross.